All right, guys, how's it going? Now, this morning I grabbed my laptop and I went to the cafe, I had a cup of coffee, and I updated my newsletter. I typed up a new update for you. You can sign up to my newsletter, it's completely free. It's in the video description. You'll see the link, coptalk.beehive.com or something. There's no advertising in it. Your email address is secure. I'm not trying to sell you anything or anything like that. It is literally just, my thoughts that sometimes I don't say in my videos. Now, this was titled "Real Madrid claims imminent?" But will they come from Spain or England? And when you sign up to that newsletter today, if you do it now, I don't think that you can see the web version of this. I'm not sure, but if you are a VIP member, I did post it in full on the members website. Within I think it's called the editor section on the members website, so you can go and read it already. And just to point out one more time, you don't have to be a VIP member, right? The newsletter is free, so I'm just saying it's not a ploy to get you to go over there or anything. It went out this morning. So basically this update was about will they or won't they. It's all to do with the contract situations of them all. The trio, the current feeling within the corridors of Anfield is that Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk will sign extensions without much of a fuss. Both players have indicated via their representatives that they would like to discuss new terms with the club. They know they're not getting any younger, so they have to be realistic. They've resisted lucrative offers from Saudi Arabia, and that won't be a factor during negotiations. Money's not the main focus, etc., etc., etc. Want to continue playing at the highest Liverpool, and Liverpool offers that. However, of course, where money and agents are involved, nothing is cut and dried. But what about Trent? And I talk about in this, that I felt that the longer it dragged on, the more chance there would be that Real Madrid could get in his head, if they stepped up. So far, they haven't. Now, so far, they haven't, despite what the LFC clique of journalists want you to believe. And I think it's lazy journalism for those journalists to continually include statements such as Real Madrid are admirers, and the Spanish giants are monitoring developments or the lack of them at Anfield. They always throw these kind of claims into articles concerning Trent. Even if he was visiting a school or doing another community project or activity, they would write articles about what he was up to, but at the end of it, they'd include words such as the much talked about Liverpool defender who is admired by the Bernabeu outfit and all that rubbish, right? Of course he's admired, we all know that. But there's no suggestions whatsoever they've made any real attempts to sign him. And I haven't seen anything written here in Spain to suggest that either yet. However, I think it's coming. Now, earlier this year, I predicted that such speculation would surface in late October or early November if a new deal wasn't confirmed. But I actually feel it might be a little bit earlier now. And I have gone over this on my live streams with you guys. Obviously, the closer we get to January 1st, the more likely that they'll start sniffing, right? And I wouldn't be surprised if Barca will link with him either, to be honest with you. And on a side note, I mentioned that in this update. If the Catalan outfit are mentioned, this would suggest to me that Real Madrid have made contact with the Trent camp. But I didn't really go into my feelings with that. I just think if you see Barcelona linked with him at some point, that I would think, yeah, Real Madrid are definitely sniffing now. That's just an opinion I've got, right? And it's based on a couple of things. So, in this email update, I said I believe Trent's agent will be behind any reports that we may be subjected to over the coming weeks. Because, Liverpool want to extend Trent's stay, so it's important for reported interest, isn't it, in his client to appear. Look, he's in demand. Look, you can see his reports everywhere. He's clearly wanted, you know what I mean? I spoke in this about, while the LFC clique want you to believe Real Madrid are considering Trent, I would counter that by saying that Trent has been considering Real Madrid and hoping for a concrete registering of interest from them. Obviously the temptation to link up with his close friend, is high. Especially during a transition at Anfield. However, as I stated here, we've started well under Arne Slot, which is a massive factor in all this, guys. I really do think it is. Virgil's not going to be around for much longer, and that opens the door, doesn't it, for a new captain? You know what I mean? Like, at Real Madrid, you'd just be a number. At Liverpool, you'd be a club legend, the captain, a local hero like Steven Gerrard before, you'll be idolised forever. And I think that will all play a huge part, sorry, I'm getting a notification, a huge part in Trent's, decision process here. Now, I spoke to someone in Trent's camp over the summer, and she basically conveyed to me what I've said in this video stroke email update earlier this morning as follows, that he's been thinking about it, Real Madrid, but, he wants to see what happens under the new coach. She also said that his agent would be happy for Liverpool not to initiate talks until quite late in the year to give time for Real Madrid to come forward. Now, this was a couple of months ago, this was said, guys, maybe even more than that, actually. And I've not heard anything since from this person. Sorry, I'm getting notifications. But, things are positive under Slot just now. And if Real Madrid don't step up, the opportunity wouldn't be there for him to consider anyway, would it? Do you know what I mean? Now, I also wrote, I suspect that one of the LFC clique will run an article at some point to assist the Trent camp by claiming an approach from Madrid. However, if things are close to an agreement and everything's looking good, that probably won't happen, right? But I also said, just don't be concerned if you do start to see such claims being made. If something drops here in Spain, I'm ideally placed, if you like, to examine it for you. If credible reports start to come out of Spain stating Real Madrid do have an interest, I'd be inclined to believe them. Basically, it all depends on where the reports come from, should they appear. And that's what I was trying to say in my newsletter. So if you start to see Real Madrid interested in Trent, or want Trent, whatever, you really have to look at where they're coming from. Do you know what I mean? Like, if it's coming from our side, from the England side, if you like, then, that's more likely, I think, to be his agent, doing a bit of bluffing, if you know what I mean. I think if it comes from the Spanish side, it could still be the agent behind these things. But I think if you start to see, like, the Spanish football dailies saying that Real Madrid are interested in Real Madrid, I would start to take that as being true, though. So basically, it depends on where those reports come from when they come out. And when I say reports, I'm not talking about claims from Twitter individuals. Do you know what I mean? All my videos keep getting restricted by YouTube at the moment, so I need to watch my mouth a little bit, maybe. So, with the exception of solid reporting from Paul Joyce, David Ornstein, and even Fabrizio Romano, Mo Salah, it's a private joke, anything from the media within the UK should be treated with caution, as it's likely to come from Trent's agency. Anything from Spain would suggest to me that Real Madrid are interested in taking him on a free, because they haven't been interested in paying for him. And if a player like that becomes available, then of course they're going to start registering interest. So in this email, I said, it's very difficult to try and explain everything that's on my mind here, and maybe you haven't made Edna Taylor what I'm trying to say, but I hope you've made some sense from it. And like I said in the email, remember, no news is good news. However, if we do start to read significant claims from either country, it will mean something ain't right. Either negotiations aren't going to plan, or Real Madrid feel they have a chance of making something happen. Now, I got a lot of feedback from you guys after that email was sent out this morning, and I've kind of gone over it with you to try and give you an idea of what was in it. It is a little bit more detailed than that. But yeah, I'm glad you appreciate that. And sometimes it's a little, the videos are easy, just like, blah, 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 but then you forget where you are. So you know what I'm like. You know what I mean? Like, 1 minute I'm talking about this and I go, what was I talking about? But with an email, you can sit down and think it over. But that email, it took forever to write up, like. But yeah, you appreciated it. Like I say, if you were on the newsletter this morning, you will have got that in your inbox. If you are a VIP member, you can go and read it in full now on the main site and within the VIP members community. But if you're not any of those things, you're not on the newsletter, you're not a VIP member, just try and digest what I've said to you. I do think that the LFC clique of journalists, the low-level ones, not Ornstein, not Joyce, the ones below them, I think it's lazy journalism when they say, Real Madrid are monitoring developments. Do you know what I mean? Because you can't say that's bullshit, because no one can prove whether that journalist knows something or not. It's just lazy, because over here in Spain, there's been nothing at all that I have seen anywhere. And you guys would have seen yourselves online anyway, you know what I mean? So I have the added bonus of a few, like, football television magazines, television programs, football magazines where they're talking about things, printed press, local press, a little bit of radio, whatever, and also the chatter of the lads in the cafes and the bars that are football mad. There's loads of Real Madrid fans around here, more Real Madrid fans around here than Valencia. Do you know what I mean? There's no Barca fans here. And they're constantly, one of my best friends here, Spanish friends, is massive Real Madrid fan. He tells me every time there's something to do with Liverpool, and he's been spot on the money every single time. I remember him telling us about Aspas. Do you remember Aspas? I'm sure you remember Aspas. Way before we were even linked with him. So we've got a good little network like that, you know what I mean? So, but there ain't nothing over here, guys, that suggests that Real Madrid have previously tried to convince him to go there. But obviously, the further it goes on, the later into the year, a player of that caliber becomes available. And of course, Real Madrid and other clubs around Europe are going to be looking at him. Of course, his agent are going to use that to their advantage. You know, the longer it goes on, the more worrying it is. But it also makes sense for his agent, you know, his representation, to drag it out as long as possible. You know, well, they haven't come knocking for me yet. Well, let's just see what happens in September, October, November. Yeah, I know, but Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? Like, drag it out as long as you can. But at some point, it's like the option's not there. So, you know, we need to, you know, sit down. And I'm sure that if he signs with Liverpool, which I think he will personally, that, you know, it'll always be, I never had any doubts or anything. You know what I mean? I was always going to be committed to Liverpool. You know, I mean, you've got to put yourself in their position. You know, if you're really close friends playing for another European giant, and, you know, Klopp leaves, and is there going to be this position, you know, this turmoil? You know, we all know what happened at Manchester United when Ferguson left. You know, Klopp leaves, you're a player. You're going to be thinking the same as the fans. Okay, now what's going to happen? If it goes tits up and Real Madrid come, I'm off to go and play with my pal. You can understand that. It's like human nature, surely. You know what I mean? You have to be a rocket scientist or an insider or something to work that one out. But what's good is we've started off well under Slot, right? So that's a positive. That's a real good positive if you think about it, right? Because that's not going to be on his mind at the moment. We know he's been a little bit unhappy with substitutions, right? So you might want to bear that in mind. But things are happy at the moment, right? You would imagine, you know, we've not collapsed yet. So that's a positive. There's no signs of Real Madrid yet, although I suspect they will. And, you know, Virgil van Dijk isn't going to be around forever. Now has a chance to be the captain of Liverpool. So there's a lot of positives for him to commit to Liverpool, and I think he will, based on current things. But out of the three of them, he's the one that I'm a little bit like, do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's a little bit more tricky than the other ones. So I'm just giving you some opinions, some stuff that for you to look out for, really. And I hope you understood it. I couldn't sit here and read the whole entire email out because it's completely different, you know, like typing up than verbal. So was this video all right? Let me know if this video was all right, because if it was not all right and it's hard to understand what I'm saying from an email, then I know next time not to touch it with a video. But it's quiet, there's not a lot happening, and I'm missing interacting with you. So I just thought, you know what, I need to speak about something. So there you go. All right, I'll leave it with you. If you appreciate the video, the effort, please give me a thumbs up. Please drop me a comment about it or anything that was said in the video. If you don't understand anything, please, you know, ask. I might not be able to reply in the comments, but I can certainly address it in another video if we talk about it again. And if you want to buy me a beer or coffee, the usual guff, you can hit the super thanks button if you want to support the channel, or read the video description for other ways of supporting the channel, etc., etc. And get on the newsletter, because you will miss out. If you like the videos, you know, and the newsletters, I think it's very, very easy to read. It's just my style, do you know what I mean? Then the link is in the video description, you know. All right, guys, take it easy, and I hope to catch up with you real soon. 7 o'clock stream tonight if you're around.